Hello anybody, I'm Don Polec and welcome to the History of My World, where we take a look back at some of the fun stories and memorable moments I've shared with you on the 6 and the 11 o'clock news. Stories that some people may consider daring. I mean, I've done stories where I've parachuted out of airplanes, ridden on bucking broncos, I've swung from the trapeze in a circus, but there was only one story where I wasn't sure I was going to live long enough to complete the report, and that's this story right here. Now, it started out innocently enough. I was sent to do a story at a place called MarineLand and Game Farm in Niagara Falls, Ontario. This was right across the border from the city of Buffalo, where I was working at the time. And it was a story about, they had a new killer whale show. Now you have to remember this is back in the early 80s, and it was perfectly normal to take a 6,000-pound marine mammal and keep it in a swimming pool its entire life and teach it to do tricks to entertain people. I mean it was a different time, obviously before the Free Willy movies and things like that. Anyway, they had this new killer whale show, and they said, hey, why don't you go there and see if you can do a story on that. See if they'll let you ride the whale. Yeah, right, they're going to let me ride the whale. They go, well, ask them. Yeah, okay, I'll ask them. I mean, what are they going to say? They're going to say no, you know what I mean? So I go over there, looks like it's going to be an interesting story, and I ask them, hey, can I ride the whale, and of course, what do they say? But, sure. Really? Yeah, I was kind of shocked. Suddenly this story seems like it's going to be more fun than I thought, you know what I mean? Then I remembered, well, this is Canada. They're not shackled by things like OSHA and workplace safety regulations. It's not the litigious society of the United States. They let you. They have a very cavalier attitude about a lot of things. Yeah, sure, we'll let you ride the whale. Now, you'll probably be okay. Well, anyway, I figured, well, they wouldn't let me do it unless it was safe, right? Well, anyway, we do the story, and I ride the whale, and it was about halfway through when I realized maybe this wasn't such a good idea, but we'll get to that later. First, I want to show you the story that the viewers saw that night, and then I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to show you the raw footage of what went on in taping this report. Anyway, here's what the viewers saw on the news that night.
The lazy days of summer. For most folks, it means relaxing, taking it easy in the warm summer breeze. But for some people, it means hard work. People like Mark Shawver, and his business colleague has it even tougher.
Candu, come here, buddy. How you doing, huh? Did you have a good night?
But then, nobody ever said being a star was easy. Not even if you're a 20-foot, 6,000-pound killer whale.
Give me your tongue, yeah.
Together, Mark and his partner, Candu, have been entertaining visitors at MarineLand and Game Farm in Niagara Falls, Ontario for 5 years. It's something of a grind, 5 shows a day, morning, noon, and night, but then there are those who will do just about anything for herring.
You want fish? You want this fish? You do? Okay.
And with that simple little treat, Mark is able to turn Candu 5 times a day into a 3-ton ham. Before 1965, when the first one was captured, no one would have ever thought that you could get this animal to do this. It's called a killer whale, but their ferocious reputation is somewhat unearned.
These things were used to be known as like a shark almost. They're just vengeful killers, but they're not. Actually, they're very intelligent. There's been no documented cases of them attacking a human in the oceans and the wilds.
And their intelligence is certainly a help when it comes to training for shows.
It's not extremely difficult. It takes a lot of time, a lot of patience, and common sense. It's relatively easy.
More than anything else, a certain rapport must first be developed with the animal.
Now, you sort of consider Candu a friend? I mean, is that how you have to deal with him?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you have to respond to his moods. Some days he's not as yeah, okay. So, yeah, you have to respect their feelings, because they have feelings, obviously.
For some, those feelings lead to a rapport that develops quickly.
Candu, are you ready?
A bond of understanding between trainer and trainee.
Think I have a chance to be a MarineLand star?
Well, what does he know from showbiz anyway? The real trick I learned in dealing with a whale or any animal is to let him do things that are natural to him, which you can then use to your advantage. So a leisurely swim around the pool on his back can turn into a pleasant ride for you across the water. That is, unless Candu decides that he would rather play Ginger Rogers to your Fred Astaire and turn the whole thing into an elegant waltz.
That particular behavior, he seems to enjoy it. If you sat down here for an hour and watched the whales out here together, they would be doing motions very, very similar to that.
But in spite of everything, it is fun, even aside from the minor disagreements that usually accompany such endeavors.
What do you say, Ken? Do you want to be partners? Huh? No, huh?
This is Don Polec for Eyewitness News in Niagara Falls, Ontario.
So there you go, a light summer story, fun to watch. Doesn't exactly reflect the experience that I had putting it together. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you the unedited version of what went on when I rode the whale. So take a look at this. We'll start at the beginning when I'm getting on Can-Do here. Now he showed me the hand signal to get the whale to roll over, and he says just lie down belly to belly, hold on to the pectoral fins, and he told me whatever you do, don't let go until you hear me blow the whistle, because I'll blow the whistle when it's safe to let go. You'll be thrown clear and nobody will get hurt. So I said, all right, fine, okay. So anyway, I knew the barrel roll was going to happen. That was all part of the plan. That was the trick that Can-Do had learned. You know, I take a breath, he rolls over, I go underwater, and I come up, get another breath, down I go, and I come up the other side. This is easy. Take a breath, down I go, and down I stay. And he starts swimming belly down, and I'm suddenly wondering, what the heck is going on? Well, why isn't he coming up again? You know, and, well, I later learned that this is a new trick for Can-Do. He just learned how to do it, and he learned how to do it going from this end of the pool to this end of the pool. And it turns out that what Can-Do can't do is figure out that he can also do it in the other direction. So obviously he wasn't the brightest bulb in the pod, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so he's swimming along, he does the barrel rolls, he gets to the end of the pool, and he says, oh, I guess they want me to do it again, so I guess I'll swim back to the starting line. So that's what he was doing. He was swimming back to the beginning, to the starting line, so he could go this way and do barrel rolls again. Unfortunately, he's swimming back to the starting line belly down, and I'm underneath him, wondering, you know, hey, I could really use some oxygen down here, and because I didn't get a good breath the last time, you know, I was up, because I figure, oh, I only got to hold my breath for 3 seconds, and I'll come back around again. You know what I mean? Anyway. I remember pulling down on one fin and pushing up on the other, you know, trying to suggest to him to, you know, oh, let's get going here. But you know, like my skinny 160-pound frame, you know, is going to make a difference on what a 3-ton animal is going to do with his body. But anyway, I keep thinking how the guy told me, whatever you do, don't let go, because you know, if the whale swims over you, you know, his tail will hit me in the head or something like that. I don't know. In any case, the whole thing lasted not even 20 seconds, but when you're underneath there and you don't know what's going on, it was a little terrifying. Finally, he starts the barrel rolls again. I get up, get a breath. Let me hear that whistle. I don't know, you know, I'm not supposed to let go, but I really want to, so come on, let's hear it. Finally, I hear the whistle, I let go, and immediately Can-Do hears the whistle too and goes to get his herring. You know, he abandons me, you know, in the pool. He didn't want anything to do with me. He knew he was just going to get fish at the end of this whole thing. But anyway, it was a little bit of a harrowing experience at the time, but we got a good story out of it. And I don't know where Can-Do is now. I imagine he's, you know, swimming free in the Caribbean somewhere. You know, maybe someday when I'm on vacation and I'm sailing and my boat tips over and I'm suddenly surrounded by sharks, maybe a familiar black form will come out of the sea and chase them away and save me because of our, you know, kind of like the mouse that pulled the thorn out of the lion's paw, you know, and they became well, anyway, you can see this story and others from the history of my world on my YouTube channel, Don Polec's World TV. So zip over to there, hit subscribe, and have some fun. As for now, I'll see you next week with another story from the history of my world. Until then, I'm Don Polec. Take care.